All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September meeting of the Ad Hoc Affordable Housing Committee. I really appreciate you joining today. From the committee, we have Nicole Eady, Nicole Ayers, and Heather Dunn, and myself. Michelle, given that the committee is now only 6, I believe this is still quorum, correct?
Yes.
So let's begin with if there's any public participation, and then we can do the meeting minutes.
I don't see anybody from the public logged on tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, then we will close public participation, and the meeting minutes were circulated. Anyone have any corrections, omissions, deletions? Okay. Seeing none, I will, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you, Ms. Ayers. All in favor of approving the minutes? All right, any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Ms. Dunn abstains. Thank you, Michelle, by the way. The minutes were, I thought, very thorough and helpful. It actually reminded me of several things we had talked about. So it's like, oh, good. I'm actually really glad. Sort of to the topic of tonight's meeting, which is sort of, what if anything we can move forward in the next 3 months. I feel like we actually did start, as you had reminded me, Michelle, we'd started a good conversation about that last time. So I think we can maybe pick up a little bit where we are on there, and then further that discussion a little bit and set some plans for October, November, and December. So I think our first item on our agenda is the status tracker. What have we accomplished from the action plan? What items do we still want to move forward? So I don't know, Michelle, if you want to kind of kick off there.
Sure, and I think the major part of this meeting, like you said, was going to be more next steps that include things that would be overlapping in the tracker. And I covered some of this at your last meeting, but I'll just reiterate for those who might not have been there. So the bigger items that we have accomplished with some of the zoning amendments. We talked about there was a density addition in the zoning regs that allows a 5% density increase over 10 units. And then with that increase, you would be required to do those additional units would have to be 80 to 90% state median income. So you can bump up your density, but given the fact that those would have to be deed restricted affordable. Then we had the plan, the affordable housing plan recommended that we needed more family sized units. So we tried to incentivize it by creating 3 bedrooms. You can earn, well, it will count as 2 workforce housing units. So, and we've kind of heard some folks interested in using that. So that's good. And then the last one was the income increase. So people that are in the program, you can increase your income over a certain amount. However, those that do utilize that increase won't count towards our total percentage of affordable throughout the city. So just to be mindful over time, as that regulation is utilized, that we don't go below the 10%, which the regulations prohibit that. Couple other things separate to zoning was some legislative proposals that are in the law office and Steve has been working on. And those included legislation tweaks to allow or figure out why condos aren't being built as much as apartments for rental. So tweaks to the legislation that would help that. Incentives for grocery stores, like in Sono. And then we were looking at a tax sale on delinquent properties to see if the Norwalk Housing Authority could be the entity that would have the first right of refusal. And then the third piece we had a
So, and
speaker
just
on.
quickly, any updates on the status of those legislative proposals?
I can tell you, sorry, I apologize. I have a barking dog in the background, and
No worries.
it's the witching hour, and the deer usually come in the yard, and she hates it.
Mhm,
Um,
get that.
yeah. So all three of them, we were thinking about trying to get them into the fall legislative session, but it was A, we didn't want to rush it, and B, that seemed, I didn't want to also get it wrapped up with the larger housing bill that's still floating around, because I just think there's going to be so much discussion around that. I think this would just kind of get washed in it. So we did get to the point where we had forwarded out the memo and to view folks as well as P and Z, and also to the mayor's office and Jay Hibansky, and they kind of asked us to do a little more checking with law department and then with some of the other departments that might be affected or have to take action on some of those proposals. So we kind of done that, and then we're kind of, I think the next step is just confirming where we're at, and then probably advancing it sometime later this fall, maybe hopefully no later than like November-ish, I would think, at least seeing if we can get more traction internally, and then at with our state delegation.
Great. No, I think that all three of them are very interesting proposals. I know Ms. Dunn has talked about the grocery store issue. It really, when you try to bike around the city or try to think about what it would take to live without a car in the city, it really is sort of a fundamental challenge. You've got to have that before you can really be realistically expecting people to live with, limited car access.
And the other thing is, you could get Grubhub or, food delivery, but like pharmacies, I think are actually more important.
Mm.
To be, if you're going to build a little community center, it'd be nice to have those, ground floor, maybe prioritize some of the businesses that you're trying to encourage to come in, to make it a real functional community,
Yeah, I think one thing that might be helpful, which is something I really hadn't thought of before, is trying to get a handle on what the metrics are for like I was going to say Rite Aid, but I don't think there's any more Rite Aids, or like a CVS. What do they look for in terms of their location? I know a lot of times a lot of the businesses want to be on like a main corridor, like they love Route 1 because it gets so much volume.
Right.
But what in a more urban setting, what would it take to attract them to the area? I think that's something. Again, I did some reaching out like years ago to Trader Joe's, thinking about how do we pull them into South Norwalk, and it was just, I think the road access and the access to as most people as possible. So I think asking questions about what's the critical mass they need in order for them to have a viable pad site would be good information.
But I think the bigger ones is one thing, but I know, like, even in New York, we have little pharmacies that, because you have to be there to sign off on medications and stuff, right? You have to go in person, really. Um, even a little pharmacy, I know, like New Canaan and I don't think Westport, but like New Canaan has a little one, maybe you could encourage someone to like have a branch somewhere else. It doesn't have to be a giant national chain as much. I don't know. Thinking outside the box is that, as far as that goes.
Right. Miss Ayers and then Miss Edie.
Thank you, Chair. And this is piggybacking on what Councilperson Dunn said. Can we walk away from the box stores, the large box stores, and look more, I don't know if this terminology is even correct anymore, more the mom and pop type of fixtures? And can we maybe emphasize women-owned and minority-owned businesses to create this community? I know we have like some communities have like an arts district or ah, the words are escaping me, but particular districts in their city that focus on certain things. Can we not do that, but make it hone in on more smaller businesses or women-owned businesses or minority-led businesses? CVS might not could fit there, but maybe there's a minority-owned pharmacy, or maybe there's a minority-owned grocery store. They are out there. We might have to do our due diligence in finding them. But I also think that also brings a different flavor to our city in general because we're introducing a lot of different things and not so much cookie cutter. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ms. Ayers. Ms. Edie?
I agree. Sorry, this is a technical issue. We do have someone from the public trying to get in.
Oh, okay.
That's Miss Cece, and I don't know how that works because we missed the public participation. I don't know if we could go back. It told her the meeting hadn't started yet.
Actually, Lisa Britton just texted me too and said that she was trying to get in and it's just,
Yeah.
and so that's why I was looking at my phone, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, that's okay. But I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, there's nobody in the queue. And I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not getting any messages, but I guess my worry is that there's a different link on the city's site than there is in this meeting right now.
I'm gonna just mute myself. I'll try to get in from my phone because it won't be
Okay.
my city login.
Yeah, would you, check that and see, because if we do need to, obviously, if the public has not been able to attend, then we need to fix that, so.
Should I have them should I?
Why don't you just hang for a second, let's see if Michelle can figure out if there's an incorrect link on the city website.
Okay.
I know this is being recorded, but it's not the easiest thing to navigate to the city's website to get on these.
No kidding, yes. Fully endorse that concern.
The easier quick fix, since I don't have access I guess if everybody can't join it, then it's a bigger problem, never mind. I was gonna say I could add those two to our meeting, but
I know,
If
but
it-
I don't want to be not in compliance with our public availability or public access. If the link is the wrong link, then I think I would be concerned about whether it's, in compliance with our obligations.
Lisa said she's giving up.
Oh, well, see, that's exactly what we don't want. I was excited. Someone actually wanted to come to one of our housing meetings.
Diane.
Did we,
Yeah. I
what do
can't
you,
text
I'm
her.
just wondering, what do you think, Michelle and Steve? Like, I don't want to,
Yeah,
our
I
agenda
know.
is not pressing. We could reconvene next week with a proper, I don't want to be in violation of open meetings law inadvertently. Nor do I, quite frankly, want the public to feel like we're trying to dissuade them from participating. That would be,
Yeah, so I go into and I hate navigating on my phone to begin with. But it says just when you click the link, I'm not getting to the Zoom.
hmm.
I guess, yeah, the best way would be, since I know a lot of folks on here tonight are on kind of a time crunch, to fix it might eat up.
Yeah,
Hold on a sec. I might be in.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, and I am a little concerned, honestly, even if we could figure out how to fix it, if folks have tried and given up, then I'm not, even if we fix it now. So maybe we should, I hate to reschedule, but I wonder if we should do that because I really don't want there to be a perception that we were unavailable.
Okay,
Is
I
that
think that
fair?
makes-
Yes, objections from anyone to that approach?
Yeah, when I try logging in from my phone, it says waiting for the host to start the webinar. So there must be a,
It must
bad
be,
link.
yeah, bad link. Okay, all right, well then let's adjourn the meeting. And we will reconvene it. Well, I'll talk to Michelle. We'll send out an email to the committee. We'll figure out a date, next week that works. But I would rather do that than inadvertently host a non-public meeting. That does not seem like that's in our best interest. So, could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? All right, thank you, Miss Edie. All in favor?
Not a Monday, please.
Okay, yeah, I'll send an email to the committee. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I want to have this conversation. So there were a number of things I wanted input on so that we can, figure out our next couple months. So, all right, I think I saw everyone's hands. We will adjourn. Thank you all and we'll reconvene.
Have a good night.
All
Sorry
right,
about
thanks
that.
you too. No worries. These things happen. Thank you. Bye.